Bene, mi fa adesso.
Dove sta Paolo? No, sì, per un secondo. Hello and welcome back here in Milan for the final of the Legacy main event. And
Yeah, we're different people now, but it's not a mistake actually. It's just that the commentators went for a break.
Yeah.
And we also would like to provide more information about what's happening now. You may be asking yourself why the match was interrupted, but this was due to an investigation that was going on during the finals.
regards not the actual match, not the final, but the semi-final. So
Exactly.
yeah, they need to do this. The judge, the judge decided to do this anyway, and so we just need to wait. And now, is it ended? So there was no consequence. So we are just waiting because they give to the player other 5 minutes to take a break because it was very very stressing, and so yeah.
So the match is soon to be recovered, so don't worry.
Yeah, of course. In few minutes we will back to the match. Okay, Pietro, come on. And yeah, what else we can say about the matchup is quite
Well, the matchup I think is quite clearly in Miracle's favor.
yeah we see that.
But of course, like as it always happens with all the tempo decks, sometimes Dever just manages to have the upper end in the early turns, especially, and so sometimes with Daisies and Wastelands, especially, they manage to strangle Miracle's development. But I think that was not the case for these matches, which were just being played now, and the game 1 and the game 2, which is about to be resumed in a while. I also agree when the other commentators say that the greatest problem from the other side is that it doesn't have any way of recovering the card advantage once it gets lost. But sometimes also these Grixis that are variants play something like Painful Troops as a sideboard options, or sometimes they go deeper even to make deck those. But I don't think that Roberto Marchetti is currently playing Painful Troops, so it's going to be pretty tough.
Okay, we are back in the booth. I'm Pietro. The investigation, it seems, concluded, and no penalties, nothing. Sorry for the jacket, but it's cold.
It's pretty cold here,
pretty
so
cold.
that's why we're wearing jackets.
We're freezing. And no, nothing. Now Angelo is taking a little break for after the investigation, and we'll come back. So the final will start back from what we interrupted. So it's the second game. The first game was won by Angelo, and now it's the second game, and basically they're gonna back to play, no penalties, no nothing. So everything normal, and in 2 minutes I think we're gonna restart. The investigation was not on this game, was in a game before that we didn't saw for a situation happening in previous
Can't
game.
really disclose more information for now, so just trust us. It wasn't related to this particular match. It was about the semi-final actually.
Yeah. So this is the situation of the board now. Roberto just played in his turn Gitaxian Probe and passing the turn, and this is the board state. Angelo leads 1-0 and nothing changes on that. So the terminus resolved, and this game is inalterated. Was before. Okay, Angelo he came back now, so I think we can start back the final. Okay, Roberto is here. Okay.
It's going to start again for now.
Okay, so hopefully.
And everything is pretty much resumed.
Okay, Roberto now is playing
Calotherapy.
Okay, so back.
Okay, Nebs Jace Demand Scouter.
Okay. So pass the turn. So now Angelo, he's got access to also red mana with a red elemental blast in his hand, and he came back with quite.
Yeah, he wants to snapcast back a ponder.
Yeah. And the results.
I think he's trying to dig for counterbalance because counterbalance is pretty much the key card in this matchup.
Yeah.
Once it gets landed, it will become increasingly difficult for Roberto to keep up.
Yeah. And Angelo, seeing the ponder, 2 lands and implosion, decided.
He's shuffling away.
Yeah, decided to shuffle away because Roberto doesn't have creatures, and now Roberto is chatting with Angelo. Everything came back to normal. Now Angelo, still for us, the favorite in this game. He's got a red elemental blast. He's got plenty of.
Yeah, and
No, the ideal now for Roberto is to find a pyromancer or something to
apply some pressure, basically.
yeah, to flashback with therapy. Yeah.
Because the longer Roberto sits there waiting, the more bad actually situation becomes for him because Angelo will eventually find counterbalance and close the lock with Sensei's Divan in top, and from there will be pretty much lights off in a very short time.
Yeah. And also the card quality between Angelo and Roberto is different because obviously Angelo has got Snapcaster gives card advantage, Jace gives card advantage, and counterbalance. Every card is quite effective. Yeah.
We can see here that Roberto has a very reactive hand, so he's not able to put any kind of pressure or not even any cantrip. So it's kind of in a stranglehold situation.
Yeah, yeah. It's now drawing a surgical extraction, maybe.
Yeah, surgical is a bit maybe not the best card actually to be boarded in.
No.
But sometimes can even take by surprise some cancer mage. So
Yeah. Now he
not completely dead.
Another land. Now Roberto is dying from a Snapcaster mage, cost to cost. And basically, Angelo has got to do nothing to. Now Roberto with a ponder, but probably will resolve unless Angelo wants to red elemental blast. Yeah, blast it. Correct choice. Because now Roberto is really facing the pressure of his Snapcaster. Really at risk of dying with Snapcaster. Also will by
Forcing
Roberto.
the reb.
He's got to search something with that ponder. Resolve ponder.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to dig for.
Yeah.
But there it goes, it's Snapcaster.
Snapcaster another way.
Let's see if
Let's see the
surgical.
target.
Yeah, surgical may turn useful here actually.
Target the rebel. And
There
the
it goes.
surgical extraction of Roberto. Marchetti came back. Essays. Yeah, Roberto is quite low life. Yeah, meaning that Angelo can figure out a beat down strategy now.
I think
Free
Roberto
turn.
needs to start being careful about those Snapcaster mage on the board because they can pile up some damage quickly, and it's already 6.
Yes, 2-2. He's got another now to face. So, yeah.
There it goes.
Okay, and this is the end with surgical. And Angelo's got the Council Judgment, he's got Izzet Staticaster.
Yeah, we see
He's
Brainstorm,
got Brainstorm,
Flusterstorm, Staticaster, Terminus, and I think Council Judgment, So quite a loaded hand actually. It won't be very easy for Roberto to overcome all this disruption.
Yeah, because also if Roberto founds a creator, you have to face 2 bar plus or free removal.
Free removals actually.
Flusterstorm of the Ponder.
And it's all kind of removal, so even with Young Pyromancer, tokens won't be very effective against Staticaster.
Yeah.
Unless Roberto, of course, finds Pyroblast himself.
Stifle and Flusterstorm.
Okay. Roberto is stifling Flusterstorm store ability or trigger,
Yeah,
better.
pays for 1.
So
Pays,
it just has to pay for 1
yeah, pays only 1.
and ponder results.
We only find something, eh?
And this is quite a spicy ponder
Yeah,
actually.
spicy Spawner, very spicy, with Pyromancer, with Cabal Therapy and Probe. Yeah, definitely spicy. If the problem is that Roberto already used a lot of mana this turn,
Yeah, he's almost tapped it out
Yeah.
this turn. So
so he basically can play now the Pyromancer. Problem is that the Pyromancer itself is gonna face the Council Judgment. So Roberto's now got to play Pyromancer.
Roberto is actually virtually at 1.
Yeah, because he can play Pyromancer. He can flashback. No, he doesn't. Why didn't flashback putting a creature?
Oh, maybe because he thinks that Pyromancer is more valuable to make Angelo waste some mana to remove it.
Static Aster.
Yeah, and Roberto goes to 1.
Yeah.
So it seems that the writing's on the wall here.
Yeah. Brainstorm of Angelo.
Brainstorm to.
Find.
Yeah, I think
the
that
last,
Angelo is definitely on the verge of winning this game and the tournament, the whole tournament. Just you can see from how quick he moves that he's pretty confident that he has
Yeah.
sealed up this game. So
Yeah. This not so historic final. I mean, because
yeah, it
the
was
matchup
yeah.
was quite written. Also for the not also for the matchup in general, but also for the way the two lists are. The list of in particular of Roberto was built. Was a list against not strong against Miracle. You got with 4 therapies and 4 you can manage to do against Miracle, trying to make some advantage, otherwise you cannot. Now Roberto will last draw. I don't know how what he can draw.
Yeah, there goes the concession in a very classy way.
And Angelo wins the tournament.
Angelo Calais is your main event legacy winner.
So Angelo is the champion, and how can
Yeah.
we say? He, as usual, he played very well all the games we saw. He basically doesn't do errors, and this is already a strong thing. And also he plays obviously the best deck in the format, as we know. I think the only real tier 1 of the legacy, because he basically with a main deck can face every opponent starting at 40, 50% or more. So this is but this is not to lower the credit to Angelo, but he's a very good player and he's very impressive. His results are really impressive. We try to have a little chat with Angelo. I don't know, maybe he's too tired. But okay. So what else can we say? I let you to David for the tomorrow introduction, and ciao.
Yeah, this is it. Very interesting stuff. Tomorrow the tournament starts at 10:30. There's going to be the modern event. Our streaming is probably going to start around 1:30 or 2:30 p.m. It depends on the number of players and the number of rounds. We assume there's going to be 8 rounds of Swiss tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, and we also assume that there's going to be plenty of Eldrazi in the room. So we'll see how the Pro Tour will affect the actually played games here.
Yeah, I had a chat with a few people, and everyone expects Eldrazi. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are going to play Eldrazi, but it seems like everyone is considering Eldrazi to be a force to be reckoned with and present tomorrow.
What do you think that the other players who do not want to play Eldrazi may want to bring for the tournament as a way to adapt to the new?
It's a good question. To be honest, it seems like every single person is thinking, right, there's gonna be a lot of Eldrazi, but not many people are thinking, oh, I will play Eldrazi instead. So it might as well be one of them in which you do expect loads of Eldrazi. Maybe you're not going to have loads of Eldrazi, but considering how good the deck is, they might have a really high win percentage, and you might still find a lot of Eldrazi in the top 8. Especially because, as we said, there's not many ways to hate the deck. You can play decks that are less affected by Chalice for 1, or decks that don't just scoop to the card. And can actually try and play a game of Magic, but still, some decks are just, it's painful to play against Eldrazi.
I heard some players who are kind of considering Menarabo to be a good contender for putting up some kind of resistance against Eldrazi, because Worship happens to be a very good card. Most of the Eldrazi decks, I think, as of now, don't have any way to actually deal with the card Worship. And also, of course, Worship itself alongside with persistent creatures is quite good. It foils Dismember plans, it foils all the possible ways that Eldrazi may have to counter the enchantment. So we'll see.
Especially because they literally have one way of dealing with the enchantment, which is the powder keg thingy.
The Ratchet Bomb, the slow
That's it.
powder keg, but that's pretty effective and slow as well. So
anyway,
that's everything by our part.
That's us. That's it from us today. We're gonna see you tomorrow in about 16 hours,
Okay.
15 hours.
We hope you
Take care for
enjoyed
now.
this Legacy streaming, and we hope our commentary was enjoyable to you as well. And signing off here, Fabio and David.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.